You want to know something really crazy? We are officially a quarter of the way through the year of 2026. When I started this series on purpose back in January, I was really stressed out to be committing to the goals that I had back at the beginning of the year. So in this video, instead of having a topic or really planning anything out, I figured, why not come out to the skate park, hang out for a little bit, and check in on some of those goals that I stated at the beginning of the year, where we're at on those goals, if anything's changed, if we've accomplished anything big. So let's have a session and chat a little bit about what's going on a quarter of the way into 2026. Now, for the sake of transparency, typically when I'm filming these videos, I do sit down beforehand to just plan them out a little bit so I have a loose outline of what I want to talk about. I didn't do that for this video because I wanted it to be as real and raw as possible. So what goals did I set at the beginning of this year, and where are we at on those? I'm gonna lay these out in no specific order to what they were in that first video, but the first one we're gonna talk about is me wanting to get into the best shape of my entire life. This year on June 27th, I will be turning 34 years old. And I would say the best shape of my life up until this point was probably 23, 24 years old. I was in such good shape and I felt so strong on my bike. Well, I'm happy to report that 3 months into this year, I have worked out every single week routinely, and I'm on track to hopefully being in the best shape of my life 3 months from now. I'm feeling so strong on my bike. Pretty much anything that I want to do happens pretty quickly. The place that I'm really noticing it the most, especially on the BMX bike, is things that involve balance. So manuals, backwards manuals, fakies, things like that. I feel very strong. I've had a couple falls here and there, and I've been able to just roll out of them and get back up. Now, these are the type of falls that would have typically kept me off the bike for a day or two. Nothing too serious. I'm feeling really strong, so I'm happy to report really good progress on working towards being in the best shape of my life. I'm really excited about that. I think over these next 3 months, I'm really gonna start turning up the intensity. I've also really changed my diet. One of the big things that I cut out was any alcohol. Wasn't a huge drinker, but when we go out to dinner here and there, I'd grab a margarita or two, beers on bike rides, things like that. I have stopped drinking. I'm almost a month into no booze. I've also cut any sort of sugary drinks. So say we'd go grab a burger over at In-N-Out. I would usually get a cherry Coke with that, but no more soda, no more alcohol. And I've got to say, it's really helping out with how I'm feeling. And it's also just really helping me with the clarity in my head, which I'm really enjoying. Will I drink again after I'm in the best shape of my life? I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. Me and my wife keep talking about that. At one point, we did almost 10 months of no drinking. And then we went on a trip to Hawaii, and we were like sitting at this really beautiful beachside bar, having lunch, and we're like, we should have a drink. And from there, we kind of started drinking again. Again, nothing too serious. We're not big partiers. Here and there, we'd get a drink. It's not something that I feel like really positively contributes to my life. It's more of a distraction. So I'm thinking, I haven't really committed to this, but I'm just really not too sure if it's going to be something that is going to be involved in my life going forward, which is kind of an exciting thing to say and maybe commit to here soon. And since we're talking about feeling good and strong on the bike, especially when it comes to balance related things, let's just see how many times it takes me to get a backwards manual. First try. All right, we're not mad about that. First try, backwards manual, feels pretty good. I can't wait to see how much easier these truly feel 3 months from now. Next up, let's talk about the goal I had to grow my small business, Traction Coffee Roasters, by $250,000 in sales this year. Where are we at on that? Well, we've put a small dent in it, and that feels really good to say. Over the last month or so, we have started closing some new local wholesale partner accounts with some really rad partners, which has me so excited. I'll talk about some of those partners here on the channel more in the future. But yeah, we're making headway on that goal. And another big piece of making headway on that is so many of you guys showing love and support to Traction. And that is so cool to say out loud. We have the coupon code PURPOSE, which gives you 25% off your order. You can order any of our rad gear or any of our freshly roasted world-class coffee with that coupon code. I'm gonna put it down in the episode description as well if you want to pick up some of that coffee or gear. There's been so many new people grabbing stuff. If you're one of those people, I just want to say thank you so much. Or if you're a longtime supporter, you guys absolutely rule. And I'm so stoked that you're a part of the Traction family. I want to talk about kind of why Traction exists for a minute. We started Traction back in 2018 with the simple mindset of providing really, really good fuel for going out and doing the things that you love. It's been a long time belief of mine that coffee is a catalyst, not only to make hard work just a little bit easier, but to help us go out and do the rad things that we want to do. Now, another big factor in us starting Traction was having grown up in the action sports industry. It was so heavily pushed on us to drink energy drinks, and that was the best source of external energy outside of sleeping good or eating well, which, wasn't a thing that was really talked about when you're young either. But I found my way into coffee in my early 20s, and the cultures between coffee and BMX just felt so similar, and coffee and bikes just in general. So that's a huge reason for why we started Traction, is not only to share world-class coffee with people as a source of really healthy energy, but also to create a really rad community of people who support one another. I've said it in other videos in the past, but I myself have always felt like a misfit anywhere I have been. And so I wanted to create a place that allowed people to not feel that way, because you're not a misfit, not anywhere you go for that matter. But I wanted to create a place where everybody could feel comfortable. And it's so cool seeing that happen over the last 7, almost 8 years now. It's been a wild ride, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the next few years ahead. I'm really looking forward to it. And with that being said, on the community aspect of Traction, starting on April 22nd, we're also kicking off our group ride again. This will be the second year of doing it. They are so much fun. It's called the Monster Mash, and we hold it out of our roastery here in Longmont. Super chill pace. If you are in the Boulder County or surrounding areas, come join us sometime. It's a lot of fun. At the beginning of the year, I said I wanted to ride at least one of my bikes 3 times a week. So where are we at on that? Well, I'm happy to say that we are definitely exceeding that goal, especially the last few weeks. I mean, we've done it every single week, but the last few weeks, it's been so beautiful here that I'm riding at a minimum one of my bikes basically every single day. This last week, I've ridden my gravel bike or my mountain bike, then followed up by my BMX bike, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and it has been an absolute treat. And I've got to say, the fitness from working out so religiously is really lending itself to when I get home at the end of the day after working, I'm like, I don't feel like sitting on the couch. I need to get outside and I need to go ride my bike. And I've been doing that. Whereas in the past, I would be so tired at the end of the day if I rode in the morning and then went and worked. Or sometimes if I just went and worked, I was just not motivated to go ride my bike. I've changed that mindset and I'm getting out there and I'm riding my bike as much as possible. That paired with the fitness makes it even more fun every time I swing my leg over the bike, just because I feel comfortable. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And the last major goal that we talked about in that video at the beginning of the year was growing this channel. My goal is to grow the channel to 250,000 subscribers. Yes, 250,000 joyriders. That's a crazy number. It really is. So where are we at on that? Well, when I made that statement, I think we were around 146,000, maybe 147,000 subscribers. And we just broke 150,000 subscribers. So if you're new here, thank you so much. This is so much fun getting to share this type of stuff. It's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about in my day to day and talking to my friends and wife about. And it's really, really cool to get to share it here as well and chat with so many of you. Now, I will say that we're also losing some subscribers on certain videos. And I know some of the topics may be a little controversial, or it's not bike content. It's more life content with some bike riding mixed in. Now, that doesn't mean that all the content is going to be this way going forward. As it's getting nicer out, me and my dad are planning some really cool high country big mountain bike rides. So stay tuned for some of those videos, some session videos. But it has been really fun to share this type of content, because the reality is we're not all just riding bikes all the time. We're all dealing with a lot of the things that we've talked about in these videos. So if you're here and you're enjoying these videos, thank you so much. And I'm really curious, I truly am. How is your year going so far? So far, I've been having a whole lot of fun, and that doesn't mean I haven't been met with some setbacks or some really challenging moments. We're gonna talk about that in a second, but I'm curious, how are things going for you? Let me know down below. I do also want to say that I read every single comment and I do my best to reply to them in a timely manner. Sometimes that doesn't happen because the reality is I'm juggling a bunch of different things, but I do read every single one and it just makes me smile. Whether you guys are sharing love or sharing how you're doing, it's really cool. So thank you for doing that. I can't wait to hear from you guys on this video as well. And again, if you're enjoying this series, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and let's keep growing the Joy of Bike family. Okay, so setbacks. What has been going on? Well, there's a few things that I'm dealing with right now that, to be honest with you, me a year ago would have been eating me alive. And one of them happened today. And I started to get upset and I left. I had to go jump on my bike, come out here. I was like, today's the perfect time to film this video. We can talk about it, because I know sometimes when you're watching these videos and I'm talking about some of these topics, maybe it comes off as a little bit preachy. I hope it doesn't, but these are the things that I'm actually implementing or trying to implement or practice in my everyday life. And I love getting to share them here. So what happened today? Yesterday, me and my wife have been working on our 71 Volkswagen Beetle. And yesterday we spent, I don't know, 10 or 12 hours on this thing. And what we did was we cleaned the whole car off and prepped it for a wipe-on clear coat. The videos of this product online look absolutely phenomenal. We've watched a bunch of them to make sure we were doing it right. We followed the instructions to a T. We wiped this stuff on and I walked back in this morning. It looks bad. It looks so bad, so streaky. And I'm just not proud of it, especially considering all the other work that we're doing to the car. The engine's out of it, it's getting fully refreshed. All the brakes are getting refreshed. The interior is getting refreshed. And so I was like, you know what? The paint's a little bit dulled. This wipe-on clear coat looks like it's gonna do the trick, refresh the car. Nah. I was like kind of losing my mind, kind of bummed, still kind of bummed, to be honest with you. So I was like, I'm gonna go ride my bike. We're gonna come up with a solution and we're gonna implement it. I don't know what we're gonna do just yet, but that does feel like a pretty big setback in the momentum I'm carrying right now. But it's all good. We learn from our mistakes, we grow from failure, and we're just gonna move on from this and we're gonna get the car sorted out. We're gonna make it shiny, it's gonna look good. And I can't wait to see it when it's done, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Another setback. I shared it at the beginning of the year, but I bought a 1988 Harley Davidson 1200 Sportster. It's been so much fun. And a few weeks ago, I went to start it and it didn't start. So I've been troubleshooting that, going into the shop here in town. They're really cool people. It's called Grand Dudes. If you're in the area and you have a motorcycle, go see them. They absolutely rule. He'd give me a couple things to try. I'd try it. Didn't work. Go and talk to him, couple more things to try. I'd try it, didn't work. And finally he was like, try these last few things. If it doesn't work, bring it in to me. We'll start looking at it. I had to take it in 2 days ago. I still haven't heard anything back yet, but my best guess, I'm not a mechanic by any means, maybe slightly mechanically inclined, but I'm not a mechanic, but I think there's an issue with my intake valve. I don't know how much that's gonna cost, what that's gonna look like. I offered to him that if he was willing to show me how to do the work, that I'd pay him for his time. That might be the outcome here. I'm not really sure. Again, a year ago, I probably would have been in shambles, so bummed about this, but it is what it is. These things happen. Now, these two things that I just shared, they're just material items. It's all good. The next one, it's tricky. It's tricky stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And one of those is the war in Iran, and that is affecting my coffee business. Obviously, we bring in coffee from all over the world, and it is putting a chokehold on the supply of coffee to the United States. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, that is a very small piece of something that is really crazy and honestly very unfortunate. I don't have all the details. I'm not going to get into it. We're not going to talk about politics. There's enough of that going on in the world right now. I want this platform to be a place where we can escape from those politics. So we're not going to really go into it, but that is something else we're dealing with right now. So I'm kind of jumping through a bunch of different hoops, navigating how we can get coffees that match the quality that we're used to quickly, so we don't have a lapse in supply to our customers and our local wholesale accounts and everybody in between. So that's been just another hurdle that we're having to overcome, but it's all good because we have a smile on our face. We're having fun. Yeah, I can't really complain. The real reason I'm sharing a couple of these hard moments or setbacks is because I don't want it to appear as I don't have problems and everything's happy all the time, because that's just not the case. We all have problems, and there is not a single person in the world that doesn't have problems. Doesn't matter how fortunate they may be, how wealthy they may be, what their lives look like on the internet. We've all got problems. And the honest truth is, and some of the best advice I've ever been given is, when you solve one problem, there's always gonna be more. There's always gonna be more. There's always gonna be at least one problem that you're dealing with or navigating. If you worry over it or let it beat you down, the problem wins. But the reality is, if we have solutions, or if we can think of solutions, we don't have problems. And if we can act on those solutions, we can solve our problems. So do we really have problems? I don't know, something to think about. And while we're on the topic of problems or having a hard day or dealing with things, you never know what other people are dealing with. As we're going out and interacting with anybody in the world, whether it be on person or here online, let's treat everybody with kindness as much as we can, because the reality is we're all more alike than we want to believe. Maybe you do believe we're all very alike, and I hope that's the case. But if you think somebody is different than you, the reality is we all kind of want the same thing. So let's treat one another with kindness. It goes a long ways, it really does. So go out there with a smile on your face, say hi to somebody, give somebody a high five, give somebody a hug, man. It's magic, it really is. And with all that being said, I think that's where we're gonna draw this one to a close. Thank you so much for hanging out with me throughout this series. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you'll consider joining the Joy of Bike family by hitting that subscribe button. Let me know how you guys are doing down in the comments below. I know this video was a little bit different, a lot of talking. I hope that's okay. I just felt like talking today and not really going overboard with planning a video. And honestly, it's really fun to just kind of do stuff off the cuff and just talk about life, what's going on, and give you guys a little bit of an update on the goals that I shared at the beginning of the year. How are you feeling a quarter of the way into this year? Are you accomplishing your goals? Are you setting new ones? Are you tired? Are you stressed out? What's going on? Let me know down below. And as always, I want you to know, you absolutely rule. I freaking love you. Now get out there and go ride your bike. It's a whole lot of fun. Catch you guys on the next one. Later.